Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to my AHPARYAM, who are diligently on captivity. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with another lesson. James chapter 2, verse 18. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be about faith through works. Alright, and the inspiration to do this lesson actually comes from this whole like kind of, I guess the best thing to say is this whole Christian doctrine where people think, oh yeah, I believe in Jesus Christos, I believe that that he died for my sins, blah blah blah. But the thing is, like, they don't have any works attached to it. They don't do anything. They just say, oh, I don't kill, I don't do this. Okay, well now that means I'm good. I'm gonna make it to heaven. All right, when like there's a very big misunderstanding that even me when I was younger, I had a hard time believing that all I needed to do in order to make it into heaven was, okay, yeah, just don't be a demon, and then don't be a demon, number one, and then believe in the Lord, and then you're gonna make it into the kingdom of heaven. That's basically what I was taught, and then I didn't know the finer details. Obviously I didn't know the finer details, but it was always in the back of my mind, is that really it? Like, is there not anything more that I can do? And I had always desired in my mind, I want to be able to do more. Like there has to be something. So I had attempted to read the Bible to try to understand, but even then, like, even going over the Bible and trying to read it and whatnot by myself, I still couldn't understand or come to any type of conclusion, especially with the whole preconceived understanding that people were saying that, the Mosaic law is done away with, you don't need to keep that anymore. And then I'm like, okay, so then what do I have to do? I'm over here like confused as to what I have to do. All right, so this is not necessarily about going into the works that we have to do, all right, but it kind of technically is. It's kind of like this is a summary, basically a summary of it. All right, so now let me get this, because there's gonna be a bit of reading. Let's start with I'll start with this. Hebrews chapter 11. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Probably different for most people, but a lot of times, or one commonality, all right, because I have heard of different people saying different things, but one commonality is that the fact that people, they see certain things, like we're seeing certain signs. Okay, so like one example for me is when I was younger, I was like, obviously before I was in the truth, I literally was like confused on like what I had to do on something, and I was like, Yahweh, I didn't say Yahweh, but I said, God, please give me the green light, and then there was a literal sign literally right after I said that there was a literal sign that said green. All right, and that was basically the Lord. Me having the understanding now, as well as me having the understanding back then, I knew, what that means. Go and do it. I have to go and do it. All right. Unfortunately, I didn't do that because I was stupid back then. I had a lack of initiative, but we learn from our mistakes, and Yahawadah that we don't do the same things again. We don't make the same mistakes again. So the thing is, as I said before, we learn. We look for these signs. Okay, we attempt to understand we attempt to understand the messages that the Lord sends to us in many different ways. It may not be in the simplest forms, but but the Lord does speak to us. Okay, that I will say that was one of the most telling examples. All right, so okay, also Slakia, let's just continue on verse 4. By faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. Basically we see, and we're going to get into many more examples. All right, Abel, he showed his faith in YAHAWASHI through his sacrifice. So giving the best sacrifice he can give, actually honoring the Lord YAHAWASHI. This is how you show your faith. Actually taking the Lord very seriously, very extremely seriously. Not me thinking, oh yeah, I can just half-ass things like slacker, and not truthfully believing that the things that we do for the Lord, it's actually, not only is it actually meaningful, but there's a reward for it. There's true value in it. All right. In addition to that, there's also the fact of the example that I gave you for me. If I had done that, I can only imagine what reward I would have gotten if I following after the Lord. All right, like there's blessings in actually being obedient. All right, the same way that just in general, following after the word of the Lord, for us now in general is going to get us into the kingdom of heaven. All right, because it's not just saying, oh, I believe, and then you go and kill people, you go and sleep with your neighbor's wife, or whatever, just sinning in general, willfully sinning in general. All right. Verse 5, by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh. All right. So once again, now this is actually even better example, because Enoch was so great. All right, the Lord just allowed him to skip. All right. Now this is a beautiful thing that we want. We need to be in such good favor with the Lord. We need to attempt to be in such good favor with the Lord that the Lord would think that it would be a shame to have such a beautiful and diligent servant experience the pains of death. Let me skip them out on that. The same way that we hope and pray that the Lord has mercy on us during Jacob's trouble. All right, we want to be able to be just translated into the kingdom. All right, but we have to actually be worthy. We have to do all the works of fixing ourselves and getting right with Yahawadah. Verse 6, but without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And the thing is, it says without faith. Now what does that mean, without faith? It means that if you don't have faith, then obviously you're going to be like, okay, well, why would I waste my time going on the highways and byways, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, or whatever, if I didn't believe. Okay, which I'm not saying that the law, statutes, and commandments are going to save us. Obviously, no. All right, but it is more so having the faith. You believe, because you have faith in YAHAWASHI, you're going to do these things, and it is a product of that faith that makes it's a product of the faith that makes you want to listen and follow after the words of YAHAWASHI. All right, now verse 7, by faith Noah, being warned of Yahweh, as yet moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Okay, so honestly, it's like this. Imagine the Lord told Noah, oh, there's gonna be a flood coming, and then it's like there was like what are you talking about? There's no, how can there is if he was a carnal person, he would have been like, there's no way there could be a flood. Like there's no rain, there's no nothing. Like everything is all good and whatnot. And then that was the same perception that these people had. That was the same perception that the people around him had. It's like there was no way there could be a flood. Like what is Noah doing? Noah's wasting his time. For what? Like it's like what's the purpose? There's no river or anything like that. You're building an ark just for the sake of it. Like it looks foolish to other people, but we see that in Saki, that's another piece of faith. Doing things that might look foolish to other people, but the Lord knows that there is a purpose, that there is a functionality, okay, a function to doing these things, and it all works out to helping us in the long run. Verse 8, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. Okay, so Abraham, he didn't know where he was going to go, all right, but yet he went anyway, and then he got blessed. He got an inheritance. He got, the children of Israel and all the wealth and land that he had accumulated. All right. So, this is the reward of faith. Okay, when we do stuff like this, we know that there's going to be a reward for it, because we have faith that the Lord is going to bless us. The Lord's going to reward us for not just our faith, but the actions that are a product of our faith. Verse 9, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. And even Sarah had faith, okay, because she was at an age where it was like incredible. It was either incredibly difficult or just virtually impossible for her to have children, but yet she still had children. She had Isaac when she was very old. All right, and this, once again, this is it all ties into having faith. Okay, verse 12. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, as the sand which is by the sea shore innumerable. And that's just that's actually the beauty of it. Sarah, through Sarah's womb, all right, Abraham had made Isaac, which by extension led to the entirety of the Israelites. All right, kind of funny how a woman that wasn't supposed to have children ended up having so many children, or by extension of her grandsons. All right. which are the Israelites. James chapter 2 verse 22. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Okay, so yes, you can say, oh yeah, I believe, but without your works, it's like through your works, when you do actions that support what you believe, then that's where your faith is made perfect, because you're proving it, not just to YAHAWASHI, but to the people around you. Noah is a perfect example of that. The people they looked at him sideways, thinking that he's crazy or weird or whatever, but regardless of how the people perceived him, the way the Lord perceived him, his faith was perfect. Had worked on all that stuff, even though it seemed so improbable through carnal lenses. All right, there would have been a flood. Next, James chapter 2 verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Okay, so the same way that you can say, oh yeah, I believe, but then, oh, I'm gonna go and do drugs, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna do all these bad things, I'm gonna sin, blah blah, and just be a demon. All right, like how can you say that you believe if you're being contradictory to do? All right, so very clearly your Lord isn't YAHAWASHI. All right, especially that reminds me of that one. Well, regardless, whatever, I'll just stay on topic, because yeah. So yes, the body without spirit is dead. Okay, which we see this in today's society. You have a lot of people that are just living just to live. All right, like they don't have a purpose. There's a lot of people now today that are only living just to live. Like they can't live. What's the word? They don't have a purpose. Okay, well, I'm like, that's it. Like I'm working all this hard work just to live, and that's also what Esau actually wants. Funnily enough, Esau wants people to be drones, and then being easily led, easily manipulated to believing, whatever Esau tells them. All right. And finally, Ephesians chapter 2 verse 9. Not of works, lest any man should boast. Not of works, lest any man should boast. So, at the end of the day, it is not our works that's going to save us, but you need to understand that your works, your actions are a testament to your faith. And when you do the works that the Lord tells us to do, you are making your faith perfect. Okay, so it is a harmonious thing. It's not, okay, yeah, well, I'm just gonna do all these things. I'm gonna be a good, quote unquote, good person. Or Slaki, that was another thing. Slaki, let me actually get that. So basically, one thing that I would hear is, can you be a good person and still make it to the kingdom of heaven? This was before, when I was a kid and would not listening to Christian fucking religious talk, basically. All right. Now there would be kids that would ask, what if you're a good person but you don't believe in God? Are you? The answer to that is no, because there is no faith in that. So how can you be rewarded by someone if you never sought them out to be rewarded from them? So like you're saying, like, for example, if you are the owner of a business, you have an employee A that you came to an agreement, I'm going to pay you if you do this, that, and the third. All right. And then there's random person B. All right. Random person B is doing all the work of employee A, but employee A still gets. Employee A is not gonna get Slakia. Random person B is not gonna get paid by the employer because the employer didn't make any arrangements with them. They didn't talk to them. All right, so they're not obligated to pay that person because like it's the same. It's the same. It's the same as, like, say for example, there's a mess. You see a mess on the floor in a store. All right. If you clean it up, you're not getting paid for that. The owner of the store or whatever, they're not gonna pay you for cleaning that mess up. You're literally just doing that just because. All right. So it is a complete thing for you to have faith and, get into that agreement, which, yeah, I believe in YAHAWASHI, but at the same time also a good person. All right. And then on the flip side, where it's, you're being a demon, you're not listening to the Lord, but you expect a reward that doesn't work, and you don't believe in the Lord, but yet you are a quote unquote good person. So how can that be the case? All right. You can't expect, or you can't do good things and from someone that you would never made an arrangement with, or never believed in, never talked to, or anything like that. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, BANYAMAN, that belongs to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Abad, Babal, and Shalom.